So our progress report says we are at stage 9, paragraph page 732, and we ended up at headword, what about you, at your type of lesson. Okay, so let's
Right.
start with your revision. Ready? Here
Sure.
we go. What are the three forms of hide? What are the three forms of hide? The three forms of
The
hide
three forms
are
of
hide,
hide
hid,
are
hidden.
hide, hid, hidden.
Who's the biggest liar you've ever met? Who's the biggest liar you've ever met?
Um, well, my friend
Is the biggest liar
is the
I've
biggest
ever met.
liar I've ever met.
Very good. Why do you have to pay attention all the time during a Callan Method lesson? Why do you have to pay attention all the time during a Callan Method lesson? I have to pay attention
I have to
all the
pay
time
attention all the
during a
time
Callan Method
during
lesson
the color method
because the
lesson
teacher could
because the
suddenly
teacher
ask
could
me a
suddenly
question
ask me a
at any
question
moment.
at any moment.
Very good. When the police are searching for evidence at the scene of a crime, do they have to pay attention to very small details? When the police are searching for evidence at the scene of a crime, do they have to pay attention to very small details? Yes. When the police
Yes,
are
when the
searching for
police are
evidence
searching for
at the
evidence
scene of a crime,
at the scene of the
they have to
crime,
pay
they
attention
have to pay
to very
attention
small
to
details.
very small details.
Very good. When you ask a friend what they did last weekend, for example, do you expect them to go into great details about everything that happened or just give you the basic facts? When you ask a friend what they did last weekend, for example, do you expect them to go into great details about everything that happened or just give you the basic facts? When I ask a friend
When I ask a
what they
friend
did last
what they
weekend,
did last
for
weekend,
example,
for
I expect
example,
them to.
I expect them to just give me the basic facts.
Very good. Do you think government should do more to help the poor? Do you think government should do more to help the poor? Yes, I think
Yes, I
governments should
think
do
the
more
government should
to
do
help the
more
poor.
to help the poor.
Do the very old and the very young sometimes find it harder to fight illness than other people? Do the very old and the very young sometimes find it harder to fight illness than other people? Yes, the very old
Yes,
and the
the
very
very old
young
and the very young
sometimes find it harder
sometimes
to
find it
fight illness
harder to fight
than
illness
other people.
than other people.
Which nationalities are particularly famous for their food? Which nationalities are particularly famous for their food? The French, the
The French,
Italians,
the
the Chinese,
Italians, the
etc.,
Chinese,
are
etc.,
particularly
are
famous
particularly famous
for their food.
for the food.
Very good. When do people sweat? When do people sweat? People sweat
People
when they
sweat
do
when
exercise,
they do exercise,
when they are nervous,
when they are
and when
nervous,
the weather is hot.
and the weather is hot.
Very good. Do you get very nervous before exams? Do you get very nervous before exams? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
get
get
very
very
nervous
nervous
before exams.
before exams.
Very good. What's the difference between under and underneath? What's the difference between under and underneath? The difference between
The difference
under and
between
underneath
under
is
and
that
underneath is
underneath
that
means
underneath
under
means
that
under
or
that
under it.
or under it.
And unlike the word under,
Unlike the
it
word
does not
under,
usually need
it
to be
does not
followed
usually
by
need
any
to
other
be followed
words.
by any other words.
Very good. Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I knelt down by the
I
car
knelt down by
and
the
looked
car
under it.
and looked under
Or
it.
I knelt down by the car
I knelt down by the
and looked
car
underneath.
and looked underneath.
Very good. Can you distinguish the difference in pronunciation between the words wonder and wonder? Can you distinguish the difference in pronunciation between the words wonder and wonder? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
can't
can't
distinguish the difference
distinguish
in
the
pronunciation
difference in pronunciation
between the words wonder
between the
and
words
wonder.
wonder and wonder.
Very good. What does the word wonder mean? What does the word wonder mean? The word wonder
The
means
word
to
wonder
walk
means
around
to
without
walk
any
around
particular
without any
purpose
particular
or
purpose
direction.
or direction.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. We had lots of time
Had
before
lots of
our
time.
train was due to leave. Okay? We have lots
Before
of time. One more. We
we,
have lots of
yep,
time
we have a lot of time
before our train
before our
was
train
due to leave.
due to
So
leave.
we just wandered around the
So just
shops for a
wandered
while.
around the shop for a while.
What does the word wonder mean? What does the word wonder mean? The word wonder
The
means
word
to
wonder
ask
means
yourself
to ask
questions.
yourself
Give
questions.
me an example. Give me an example, please. There are some peculiar
There are
smells
some
coming
peculiar
from the
smells
kitchen.
coming from
Coming
the
from the
kitchen.
kitchen. I wonder what
I
John's
wonder
cooking in
what
there.
John's cooking in there.
Very good. What does the idiom get you down mean? What does the idiom get you down mean? The idiom get you
The
down
idiom
means
get you down
make you
means
tired and
make you
unhappy.
tired, unhappy.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. He had to stop work
He had to
because
stop.
the problem.
Stop what?
He had to stop work
He had to stop work
because the problems and
because the problems
difficulties of the job
and difficulties of the
got
job
him down after
got
a
him
time.
down after a time.
Very good. What feeling does the word still communicate when we use it in a negative sentence? What feeling does the word still communicate when we use it in a negative sentence? The word still
The word
communicates
still
a feeling of
communicate a
surprise
feeling of
or
surprise
annoyance
or
when we
annoyance
use it in a
when we
negative
use
sentence.
in a negative sentence.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I've explained it a
I've
hundred
explained
times,
it 100
but he
times,
still doesn't
but he
understand.
still doesn't understand.
Very good. Can the word still be used in questions? Can the word still be used in questions? Yes, the word
Yes,
still
the
can be
one
used
still
in
can be
questions.
used in questions.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. It's nearly midnight.
It's nearly
Are you still
midnight.
working?
Are you still working?
Very good. When do we use the word still or more commonly even in a comparative structure? When do we use the word still or more commonly even in a comparative structure? We use the
We
word still
use the word
or more
still
commonly
or
even
more commonly
in a
even
comparative
in a
structure
comparative
to
structure
communicate that
to
something is
communicate that
surprising.
something is surprising.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. My French is bad
My French is
and
bad
my English is
and my
still
English
worse.
is still worse.
Joe is fairly greedy,
Go is very
but
greedy,
his sister's
but
even
his
greedier.
sister's even greedier.
Greedier. Very good. If I said to you that according to the newspaper this morning, life has been discovered on another planet, would you believe me? If I said to you that according to the newspapers this morning, life has been discovered on another planet, would you believe me? Yes or no?
Yes,
If
he
you
said
said to me
to
that
me
according to
that
the newspaper
according
this
to the
morning,
paper this morning,
life had been discovered
I had been
on
discovered
another planet,
on another
I'd believe
planet.
you.
I'd believe you.
What, according to you, is the best way to deal with murderers? What, according to you, is the best way to deal with murderers? In my opinion,
In
the
my
best way to
opinion,
deal
the
with
best way to
murderers
deal with
is to
murderers is to promise not to tell the fact to the police.
very good. When things don't go according to plan, what do you do? When things don't go according to plan, what do you do? When things don't go
When things
according
don't
to
go
plan,
according to the
I
plan, I'd change the schedule.
very good. Okay. In your town, do you get bands of young people going around the streets at night causing disturbances? In your town, do you get bands of young people going around the streets at night causing disturbances? Yes or no?
No,
In my town, we
in my
don't get
town, we
bands of
don't
young
get
people
bands of young
going
people
around the streets
going
at
around
night
the street at
causing
night
disturbances.
causing disturbances.
Name a band that's very popular in your country. Name a band that's very popular in your country. A band that's
A
very
band
popular
that's
in my
very popular
country
in my
is
country is a Mr. Children.
very good. Do you like the sound of a military band? Do you like the sound of a military band? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
like
like the
the sound
sound
of a
of a
military.
military band.
Why do they put a band of material inside a hat? Why do they put a band of material inside a hat? They put a band
They
of
put a
material
band
inside the hat
material
to
inside a
help the
hat
hat to
to
keep
help the
its
hat
shape.
to keep its shape.
Why do tennis players sometimes wear a band of material around their wrist? Why do tennis players sometimes wear a band of materials around their wrist? Tennis players
Tennis
sometimes
player
wear a
sometimes
band of
wear a
material
band
around their
material
wrist
around the
to
wrist
absorb the sweat.
to absorb the sweat.
Very good. Is there a definite link between cigarette smoking and serious illness? Is there a definite link between cigarette smoking and serious illness? Yes, there's a
Yes,
definite link
there is a definite
between
link
cigarette
between
smoking
cigarette
and
smoking
serious illness.
and serious illness.
When browsing on the internet, do you ever follow so many links that you forget what you were originally doing? When browsing on the internet, do you ever follow so many links that you forget what you were originally doing? Yes or no?
Yes,
When
when
browsing on
browsing
the
on
internet,
internet,
I sometimes follow
I
so many
sometimes
links
follow so many
that I
links
forgot.
that I
I'm sorry, that
forgot
I
uh,
forget
that I forget
what I was originally
what
doing.
I was originally doing.
Do you enjoy browsing round shops at the weekend? Do you enjoy browsing round shops at the weekend? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
enjoy browsing
round shops
around
at the weekend.
shop at the weekend.
What's the noun of the verb to carry? What's the noun of the verb to carry? The noun of the
The
verb to
noun
carry
of the verb
is
to carry
carriage.
is carriage.
How many carriages does the average train consist of? How many carriages does the average train consist of? The average train
The average
consists
train
of about,
consists of about 10 carriages.
very good. What caused people to stop using the horse and carriage as a form of everyday transport? What caused people to stop using the use of horse and carriages as a form of everyday transport? The invention of the
The
steam
invention
engine
of steam
and
engine
car caused
and
people
car
to
caused
stop
people
using the
to stop
horse
using the
and
hose
carriage as
and
a form
carriage
of
as
everyday
a whole
transport.
of everyday transport.
In your opinion, what's the most important invention in history apart from the wheel? In your opinion, what's the most important invention in history apart from the wheel? In my opinion,
In my
the most
opinion,
important
the most
invention in
important
history
invention in
apart from
history,
the wheel is,
apart from the wheel, is an airplane.
very good. If you have a car accident and make a claim on your insurance, do you have to give a detailed explanation of what happened? If you have a car accident and make a claim on your insurance, do you have to give a detailed explanation of what happened? Yes. If you
Yes,
have a car
if you
accident
have a car
and make
accident
a claim on
and
your
make a claim
insurance,
on your
you have to
insurance,
give a
you have
detailed
to give a
explanation
detailed
of what
explanation
happened.
of what happened.
Very good. What kind of things do housemates argue about? What kind of things do housemates argue about? The kind of things
The kind of
that
things
housemates argue
that
about
housemates argue
are
about
cleaning,
are
noise,
cleaning,
etc.
noise, etc.
Do you think there's anything bad about lying to someone in order not to hurt their feelings? Do you think there's anything bad about lying to someone in order not to hurt their feelings? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think
I don't
there's
think
anything bad
there's anything
about
bad
lying to someone
about lying to
in
someone
order not to
in
hurt their
order
feelings.
not to hurt their feelings.
Where do you stand about on the corners of the street in your town? Do people stand about on the corners of the streets of your town? Yes or no?
No,
People don't stand
people
about
don't stand
on the
about
corners
on
of
the
the street in
corners
my
of the
town.
streets in my town.
Very good. Are you in the habit of leaving your clothes lying about your bedroom floor for days and days? Are you in the habit of leaving your clothes lying about on your bedroom floor for days and days? Yes or no?
No, I'm
I'm
not in the habit
of
of
leaving my clothes
leaving my
lying
clothes
about on my
lying about
bedroom
on
floor
my bedroom
for days
floor
and days.
for days and days.
Wait, if you came to the classroom for your lesson one day but there was nobody about, what would you do? If you came to the classroom for your lesson one day but there was nobody about, what would you do? If I came to the
If I
classroom for
came to
my
the
lesson one
classroom
day
on my lesson one day,
but there was nobody
but
about,
there was nobody about,
I'd
I'd call my classmates to ask about what happened today.
that's correct. Very good. I don't think there's going to be another world war. What about you? I don't think there's going to be another world war. What about you? I agree. I don't.
No,
I don't agree.
I don't
I
agree.
think there's going to
I
be
think there's going to
another
be
world war.
another world war.
Very good. Okay, that's the end of our revision. Let's have new
Mm.
word. Okay, repeat. Bitter,
Bitter,
dissatisfaction.
dissatisfaction.
Very good. Okay, listen. Bitter is an adjective. It is an unpleasantly strong, sharp taste like coffee without sugar. Another meaning of bitter is feeling unhappy and upset because you think you have been treated unfairly. For example, some people feel bitter, especially in their old age, because they feel that life was not been fair to them. Dissatisfaction is an adjective. It means not pleased with something or feeling of not being satisfied. For example, some people feel bitter, especially in their old age, because they feel that life has not been fair to them or because of the dissatisfaction they get from life. Let's practice. Does tea without sugar taste sweet? Does tea without sugar taste sweet? No. Tea
No,
without sugar
without
doesn't taste
sugar
sweet.
doesn't taste
It
sweet.
tastes bitter.
It tastes bitter.
Very good. Why do some people feel bitter, especially in their old age? Why do some people feel bitter, especially in their old age? Some people
Some
feel
people
bitter,
feel
especially
bitter,
in their old
especially in
age,
their old
because
age,
they feel
because
that
they
life
feel
has not
that
been
life
fair to
has
them.
not been fair to them.
Very good. Thanks, repeat. Neat.
Neat.
Very good. Okay, listen. We can use the word neat instead of the word tidy. It means everything is in place. For example, his office is very neat. Okay, let's practice. What word can we use instead of the word tidy? What word can we use instead of the word tidy? We can use the word
We
neat
can use the word
instead
neat
of the word
instead of
tidy.
the word tidy.
Very good. Actually, poverty.
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 Very good. Okay. Poverty is a noun. It means the condition of being extremely poor. For example, I think there's always be high levels of poverty in some parts of the world. Let's practice. Do you think there'll be always high levels of poverty in some parts of the world? Do you think there'll always be high levels of poverty in some parts of the world? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think there'll
I
always
think
be
there
high
always
levels
be
of
high
poverty
levels of
in some
poverty
parts of the
in
world.
some parts of the world.
Very good. Next, repeat. Admire.
Admire,
Admiration.
admiration,
Very good. Okay, listen. Admire is a verb. It means to respect and like someone because of their qualities or skills. For example, I admire soldiers the most because they are really brave to defend our country against enemies. Admiration is the noun of admire. Let's practice. Who do you admire more than anyone else? Who do you admire more than anyone else? I admire
admire. The prime minister of
more than
Japan
anyone
more
else.
than anyone else
Why? Why? Because
because he's the head of this country.
that's correct, and it's not an easy job, right?
Right.
Very good. What's the noun of the verb to admire? What's the noun of the verb to admire? The noun of the
The
verb
noun
to
of the verb
admire
to
is
admire is
admiration.
admiration.
Very good. Next, repeat. Generous.
Generous.
Very good. Okay, listen. Generous is an adjective. It means willing to give money, spend time, or give support, etc., in order to help people or give them pleasure. For example, I don't think the rich are more generous than the poor. Let's practice. Do you think the rich are more generous than the poor? Do you think the rich are more generous than the poor? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
think
think the rich are more
the
generous
rich
than the
are more
poor.
generous than the poor.
Very good. Okay, now let's have idiom 33. Okay, repeat. Touch and go.
Touch and go.
Very good. Okay, listen. Touch and go is an idiom. It means very uncertain, not sure. For example, it was touch and go for a moment. I thought the piece of wood would break and we'd all fell into the sea. Okay, let's practice. What does the idiom touch and go mean? What does the idiom touch and go mean? The idiom touch
The
and go
idiom touch
means
and go means
very uncertain.
very uncertain.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. The car was
The
in very
car
bad
was
condition
in very bad
and it
condition.
was touch and go
It was touch
whether
and
it
go
would get us home
whether it
or
would
not.
get us small or not.
Get us home or not.
Get us hold,
Home, like home
get us a home or
or
not.
not. Very good. Okay, now let's have further uses of the verb wish.
Further uses of the verb wish.
Very good. Okay, listen. We use the verb wish followed by the word would when we are unhappy or irritated about something that is happening and we want the situation to change. For example, if somebody is irritating us by making a lot of noise and we want them to be quiet, we can say, I wish he would be quiet. If we are unhappy because it is raining and we want it to stop, we can say, I wish it would stop raining. Okay, let's practice. When do we use the verb wish followed by the word would? When do we use the word wish followed by the word would? We use the
We
verb
use
wish
the verb
followed
wish,
by the word would
followed by the word
when
would,
we are unhappy
when we are unhappy
or irritated about something
or irritated about
that is
something
happening
that
and
is
we want the
happening,
situation to change.
and we want the situation to change.
Very good. Okay, so we stop there for today and let's move on to reading.
Reading. 712.
Okay, let me just make note of it. Okay, here we go. 712, last headword was hedge. Start at page 713. Hall, entrance, town hall.
Great. Hall, entrance, town hall. What's a hall? A hall is a large room. Give me some examples of different types of hall, please. Entrance hall, schools, a dining hall, a
Hmm.
town hall, etc.
Hmm.
What's a town hall? A town hall is a large building that is used for local government and public meetings. Pool, liquid, indoor, outdoor, indoors, outdoors, out of doors. What is a pool? A pool is a small amount of liquid that has collected in one place. Give me some examples, please. A pool of water, a pool of blood, etc. What are the advantages of an indoor swimming pool? The advantage of an indoor swimming pool are that the water can be heated more easily, and one can swim in it in any kind of weather. Which do you prefer, an indoor or an outdoor swimming pool? I prefer an indoor swimming pool. Do you spend most of your time indoors or outdoors? I spend most of my time indoors. Knee, kneel, knelt. What do we call this joint of the leg? We call that joint of the leg a knee. On what occasions do people kneel? The occasions on which people kneel are when they say their prayers, etc. Late, lately. Who was the leader of the late government in your country? The leader of the late government in my country was Yoshihide Suga.
Hmm.
What do we mean when we speak about the late Mr. Johnson? When we speak about the late Mr. Johnson, we mean that Mr. Johnson who has recently died. Have you seen any good films at the cinema lately? No, I haven't seen any good films at the cinema lately. Much. Judo. Do many women like to match their handbags with their shoes? Yes, many women like to match their handbags with their shoes. Do you think a small man who was good at judo would be a match for a big man who knew how to box? Yes, I think a small man who was good at judo would be a match for a big man who knew how to box. A football match is usually held at the weekend or during the week. Football match is usually held at the weekend.
Very good. Okay, so we stop there for today.
Stop
Very
here.
good.